Where you're going is more important than how you get there. You caught that? Where you're going is more important than how you get there. Because we get caught up in how we gonna get there. Mechanisms. What are the things that we're going to use to get where we want to go, when it's really the wrong approach to take if you want to maximize your results. And so the proper steps to take if you want to be successful, if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to be financial free, is not to focus on how you're going to get there. First, quantify where you want to go. And all this begins with this word here, target. You need a target. You need a target. I wish I knew this like the first 16, 17 years of my entrepreneurial journey. I didn't understand that. I got caught in the mechanics. I was so focused on how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that. I hadn't even thought about, but where are you going? What does that look like in terms of numbers? What does that look like in terms of dollars? A lot of people make this mistake in their career. Think about it. If you are pursuing a career and that career only makes at best, let's say, $200,000, or let's just say at the top, you're pursuing a career where you can make at least $500,000 a year, but you want to be worth $100 million. Well, guess what? You just blocked yourself. You just bottlenecked yourself because you're pursuing a career where the top 0.0001% of professionals in that career make $500,000, and you over here talking about, I'm gonna be worth $100 million. No, because where you want to go, you can't get there based on how you're trying to get there. You're in the wrong vehicle. So everything starts with a target. So you got to think about, okay, how much money do I want to make? How much do I want to be worth? Where am I going? What does that number, that dollar amount, that metric look like? You literally got to go into your future, sit there, quantify that, and then when you come back, that number based on your target determines the vehicle that you get in. So just simply speaking, right here, right now, if you wanted to go to Dubai, and you're in the United States of America, okay? And you wanted to go to Dubai. If you didn't think where you wanted to go first before you determined the vehicle, and you would have went out there and bought a skateboard and then came back and said, you know what? I got this skateboard. And you know where I want to go? I want to go to Dubai. Yeah, okay, you might can get to Dubai, but you sure ain't going there with no skateboard. Now, if you determined that you're going to Dubai, now, instead of going to buy a skateboard, you're either going to go buy a private jet or you're going to buy an airline ticket. You understand what I mean? Because your target needs to determine your vehicle. You shouldn't be using your vehicle to determine your target. Most people in their careers, even entrepreneurs, they mix this up all the time. I did it because I was in a vehicle as an entrepreneur that could never get me to where in my heart my target was. Because in my heart, my target was, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy, and I'm over here in this vehicle that's not scalable. It's key person dependent on me, and it's like buying a skateboard trying to get to Dubai. So number one is target. Number two, vehicle. Let the target determine the vehicle. As one of my mentors have said many times before in this same conversation, he said, I'm not concerned about how I get there as long as I get there. In other words, if I have to get into a vehicle that I'm not comfortable with, that really don't float my boat, but that is the vehicle that could get me to my target, then I'm getting in that vehicle. It just don't matter. I would rather be in a vehicle that I'm uncomfortable with, that don't float my boat, to get to my true heartfelt target, as opposed to being in a vehicle that I just love and I'm so passionate about and it's just my little thing and my gig, but it's never going to get me to my target. Target first, vehicle. And then once you determine the target and the vehicle, you then go to strategy. Okay, now I can start putting the pieces of the puzzle together for the strategy. Okay, I need a suitcase. I have a certain time I need to get to the airport, using that same analogy. Am I going to catch an Uber to the airport, or am I going to drive my car and park it while I'm away? Now I can start focusing on the strategy or the logistics. I can start digging into some of the mechanics, because every day of every week, of every month, of every year, I'm doing something strategically in this vehicle to get me to my target. And then next, this is the execution. And that word execution should be consistency over long periods of time, because your execution is not just for one day. Your execution is every day of every week, of every month, of every year, over a long enough period of time for you to see the strategy mature in the vehicle and for the vehicle to ultimately get you to your target. This is how you fulfill your dreams. This is how you maximize your results. This is how you live the quality of life that you really want to live. No other way is going to get you to those results. So if there's anything my team and I can do to help you put the right infrastructure together, whether it's a business, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's some financial strategy that you want to implement for your retirement, investing, we do this at RP Capital. This is our private equity firm. We offer complimentary advisory services for your finances, your business, your investments, and all of the above. Just click the link in the description, reach out to my team, and I will make ourselves available to help you along the way. And I'll see you in the next video.